Hey everybody, Jeremy Weiss here with Weiss Tech Hockey, and in this video I've got a really nice example of a well-played one-on-one. This is footage from the World Juniors this past season, that's 2015, and this is Russia versus Switzerland. So here we have the Swiss player, and he's breaking out against the Russian defenseman. And I'm just going to let this play, and we're going to hit pause a couple times throughout this and just show you different things. So as you can see right now, we've got a looser gap, but that's fine because Switzerland is just barely coming out over their blue line. So what we want to have do, and this actually, the Russian player plays it. There's a few key indicators that I look at on a well-played one-on-one, and this Russian defenseman hits them all. So we're going to go through this and show you what we're talking about here. So right now they've got the loose gap. Now the objective is that I like to see is we want to have tight gap by the time they're crossing the blue line. Now what I consider to be tight gap is 2 stick lengths, meaning this player is close enough to poke check this player. So 1 stick length, 2 stick lengths, right? So close enough to make a poke check by the time they're crossing the blue line. And what we've got here is another key indicator that I look at is we want the upper body loose but compact. So sometimes you see coaches teaching that they want to spread their arms and get really wide. I don't like that. I like to be loose, but you want the hands at about the hips. Where he's got them here is perfect. The reason I like the hands at the hips is because it gives the guy an option to poke check. It's a little bit deceiving for the puck carrier. So it looks like he's got his stick extended, but there's still an extra 2 or 3 feet worth of poke check once he extends his arms. So let's go ahead and hit play. Okay, perfect. Look what we've got here. So they're crossing the blue line. We're close enough now where he can poke check. Now, what I like here is he poke checks but doesn't swipe check. There's a difference. The swipe check is when they comes from, and this, again, it comes from these coaches that teach their kids to get wide. If you get wide, then where's your stick? Your stick's off to the side. So a lot of times you see this, coaches teaching, get your arms wide, and that makes the stick off to the side. So then if you want to make a play with your stick, the only option you have is a big swipe check. Now, especially at the high levels of play, you swipe check and miss, you're toast. Because not only have you swiped and missed, but the swipe in and of itself, the nature of the swipe, means you've swung your stick all the way around. Now your body's pointing one way, and a good stick handler will take you the other way. And now he's going wide, you're going to the inside, and there's no way you're catching that back up. So, but on the other hand, a poke check, you can poke check and miss all day long, and your body is still in good position. That's actually what happens here. He poke checks and misses a couple times, and then you can see poke check, miss, poke check, miss, poke check. Now, here's the next aspect of this. This guy finally realizes he's not going to beat that Russian defenseman, so he pivots and turns back. Now, it actually ends up being a pretty good play by Switzerland, but what I'm watching here is this Russian defenseman. Now, he's seen that he's got some back checkers coming back to help, so he's going to reclose that gap. Okay, so he recloses the gap. Now, the rest of his team falls back into position, and so now it's we're in good shape here. Now, like I said, Switzerland makes a decent play out of this, gets a shot on goal, but what I'm looking at here is that one-on-one. So let's watch it again. This is the breakout. So well-managed gap, hands at the hips, loose but compact, poke check miss, gets kind of a piece of it there. Guy turns back and he closes the gap, recloses the gap. So if this guy would have attacked a second time, he would have again been at that tight gap that we want. So very, like I said, very well played one-on-one defensively there, and it really hit a lot of the really key points that I like to see on a one-on-one. Manage the gap, close gap by the time you're crossing the blue line, close enough that you can poke check, and then we want a poke check, not a swipe check. Hands loose but compact at the hips, poke check but not a swipe check. You can poke check and miss all day long, and your body's still in proper position. And then if the guy turns or pivots, reclose the gap. One kind of key rule I have is that if you're playing a one-on-one and the guy turns his back on you, then that's the time to attack. And that's really what he did. He wasn't close enough to get a stick on it, but he reclosed the gap after the guy turned his back on him. And I like I like to see that. It's really well played one-on-one. So if this video was helpful, make sure you check us out at weisstechhockey.com. We've got more drills, skills, play-by-play dissections like this one, and a lot of stuff that will help you improve your game or improve your coaching.